Have you ever had that strange feeling that this message was addressed directly to you? You're watching this video by chance, but deep down, you know it's no coincidence. Perhaps Allah is speaking to you through these words about someone you decided to forget, but whom He wants you to remember. What if what you hear today changes the way you view this connection forever? You think this video appeared by chance. But think for a second. How much content, distractions, and useless things pass before your eyes every day? Why, at this precise moment, did your gaze stop here? It's because these words are for you, not for others, not for everyone, but for you, with your story, your trials, your wounds, your secrets that no one knows. There is a truth you must hear. When Allah wants to remind you of something, He doesn't need to write in the sky. He doesn't always speak to you in spectacular dreams. Sometimes, He simply places a message in front of you exactly when you need it. And that message may be this: don't let go of this person. You already know who I'm talking about. Yes, you who are listening. You see a face, a voice, a precise memory crossing your mind at this moment. It's not just a thought, it's a reminder. Allah has chosen that you think of this person now, as you hear these words. And that's what should already make you tremble. It wasn't you who just mentioned them, it was your heart that was just guided. But why? Why is Allah sending you yet another sign of patience when you've already thought about cutting it off 1,000 times? Because there are ties that surpass your logic, ties that aren't there for your comfort, but for your elevation. Sometimes, this person is your test, and at the same time, your elevator to Him. Do you want to know why you can't turn the page despite everything? Because Allah has given you a spiritual responsibility. Perhaps you don't need this person as much as they need you. What if Allah had chosen you, not for your immediate well-being, but to be the reason another soul doesn't completely sink? Remember, Allah never places a soul in front of another without wisdom. Perhaps you are the only mirror this person has to see a little light. Perhaps your presence, even fragile, even tired, is still a protection they are unaware of. And you think about giving up. You think it's a useless burden, but in truth, it's a divine mission. You see, Allah sometimes tests you through the hearts of others. Not in your prayers, not just in your fasting, not just in your visible actions, but in what you are willing to bear for someone everyone else would have already abandoned. That's where your sincerity comes into play. When you continue to support, even when you are misunderstood, even when you are tired, even when you no longer receive gratitude in return, because you don't do it for them, you do it for Him. And maybe you say to yourself, but that's unfair. Why me? Look deeper. Who told you you weren't strong enough? Who told you your heart couldn't handle this role? Allah doesn't choose randomly. If this person is still in your story, it's because there is wisdom you haven't yet understood. Do you know what that means? It means that you too are being shaped. Every patience you give, every pain you endure, every time you swallow your anger, it's you who is being built. It's your soul that is learning things you would never have understood in comfort. So maybe, yes, this person hurt you. Maybe they broke your trust. Maybe they exhausted you, drained you, brought you to your knees. But if Allah wants you not to give up yet, it's because He wants you to understand a greater truth. Your heart is capable of bearing what you thought was unbearable. And that is proof you don't yet see. Don't think you're carrying this burden for nothing. Every time you hold back your hand from giving up, every time you continue to silently pray for that person, Every time you decide to offer a little more hope, it's recorded. Everything is seen. Everything is noted. You don't know what reward lies behind this invisible role. And you, watching this video, feel your heart beat faster. Do you know why? Because deep down, you were asking for a sign. You were perhaps even begging Allah to show you what to do. And now you hear these words. Don't give your verdict yet. Don't close the door yet. So stop for a second. Breathe. Feel the gravity of this moment. If Allah has brought you here, it is because this story is not over. And if this story is not over, it is because you, too, still have a role to play. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a vast desert. The burning sand beneath your feet, the sun beating down on your face, the heavy silence interrupted only by the quickening breath of your heart. Your lips are dry, your throat burns. Each step is a victory over the exhaustion crushing you. You hold a water bottle in your hand, but it's almost empty. You know it. A few more sips, no more. And there, in the distance, a silhouette. Blurry at first, like a mirage. You hesitate. Is it real, or is it your mind playing with your thirst? But the further you walk, the more you make out this person. She's on her knees, her head bowed, her skin cracked by the sun. Her hands are shaking. She no longer has the strength to get up. Your heart sinks. You understand that she's on the verge of giving up. A dilemma then sets in within you. Your mind begins to cry out. What if I give? Will I have nothing left? What if I share my last drop? Who will save me? Fear prevails. Logic calculates. But your heart whispers something else. What if this is precisely why Allah put me here? What if this drop I guard so jealously wasn't meant for me but for him? This desert isn't just a backdrop. It's life. Your gourd is your energy, your time, your love, your patience. And this person you meet is this soul that Allah has placed on your path. Not so that you pass by and avert your gaze, but so that you realize that your role is greater than your own selfish survival. Perhaps today, you yourself are tired. You already carry your trials, your wounds, your silent prayers that no one hears. You might say, I too need help. I too am thirsty. And you'd be right. But think, what if Allah had decided to give you more strength than you think, not for yourself, but to save someone else? That's the mystery. Allah knows what you don't. Perhaps the drop you offer this person is the one that rekindles their hope. Perhaps this small gesture, invisible to the world, is recorded in the invisible as an immense work. And you believe it's a sacrifice, when in reality, it's an elevation. Because deep down, the story of the desert is not a story of lack. It's a story of trust. Do you believe that giving your last drop will impoverish you? Or do you believe that he who created the desert is also capable of making a spring beneath your feet? Do you believe that Allah brought you this far only to abandon you after your gesture? Or do you understand that whenever you give for him, you never lose? Look carefully at this scene. You hold out your water bottle. You see this person drink, catch their breath, raise their head. A light is reborn in their eyes. And in that moment, it's no longer just water you've given. It's hope. It's a reminder that Allah has not forgotten them. And you were the silent messenger of this mercy. So transpose this desert to your life. This person you hesitate to abandon is perhaps them, the exhausted silhouette at the edge of the sand. You don't know to what extent your presence, however small, is a water bottle in their desert. You don't know to what extent your discreet support is the only proof that Allah has not left them alone. And you? You are that breath you still don't know. You are that relay of light that doesn't yet understand its role. What if Allah had chosen you not to receive, but to give? Not to be saved, but to be the tool of His rescue? Think about it carefully. The desert of your life is filled with illusions. You believe you are empty, but in reality, you still carry a precious drop. You believe you have nothing to offer, but Allah knows what you contain. And if that drop were meant to save a soul, then who are you to hold it back? Pause in this scene. Look at that person once more. Feel their need, their despair, their fragility. And now, listen to your heart. What are you doing with your gold? Maybe you're watching this video today because you're fed up. Fed up with going around in circles. Fed up with hoping. Fed up with waiting for a sign that never came. And deep down, you said to yourself, if I come across something right here, right now, that will be my answer. So why are you here? Why do these words resonate so strongly with you? Because Allah knows exactly what's in your heart. He knows you're tired. He knows you're about to give up. And that's precisely why He placed this message before your eyes. Don't give your verdict yet. Don't close the door yet. Is your heart beating faster? That's normal. Because you already recognize the person it is. You don't need to think long. You don't need to make a list, you know? Your heart leaped at the first word. And that's when you have to ask yourself the real question. Is it really a coincidence that you're hearing this now? Or is this the answer you've been asking for, but were afraid to hear? You wanted to be told, let it go. Turn the page. Protect yourself. But Allah, He tells you something else. He tells you, don't give up yet. Don't be the one who gives up when I haven't given up yet. And that changes everything. Because you look at the surface. You see the mistakes. You see the fatigue. You see the hurt. You see the disappointment. But Allah, He sees what you don't know. He sees that person's silent prayers. He sees their regrets that you can't hear. He sees their inner struggles that you will never understand. And maybe He placed you in His life precisely so it wouldn't completely collapse. Do you think you're useless? Do you think you've given for nothing? Do you think you no longer have an impact? But if you knew how much a single person can be saved by the patience of another, and now you're still hesitant. But why me? Why do I have to carry this? Because Allah chose you. Yes, you. Not your brother, not your friend, not that person you admire. You. You may be tired, you may be broken, but that's precisely why you've been chosen. Because Allah knows your heart is capable of strength you don't even suspect. What if you stopped seeing this as a punishment? What if you started seeing it as a mission? A sacred mission, entrusted to you by the one who never makes a mistake in his choices. Do you think you'd stumble upon these words for nothing? Number. You asked for a sign. You got it. You asked for an answer. It's there. You asked for direction. It's clear before you. You're not watching a video as a distraction. You're listening to an answer. An answer sent at the exact moment you are ready to give up. And you feel your heart struggling. Part of you says, no, this is too hard, I can't do it anymore. But another part of you, deeper, more sincere, says, wait. Listen. Maybe this is true. Maybe this is for me. What if this is the real fight? Not between you and this person, but between your soul and your ego. Your ego wants the easy way out. Surrender. Escape. Your soul wants elevation, patience, mercy. So choose. Who do you listen to? You know what's crazy? You're not alone. There are thousands of people hearing these words now. But for each one, the face that appears in their minds is different. For you, it's a specific person, A person you can't erase, no matter how hard you try. And that proves that this message isn't general. It's personal. Allah doesn't place vague signs in your heart. He created you. He knows exactly what makes your soul vibrate. And if you vibrate now, if you tremble a little when you hear these phrases, it's because you were meant to hear them today. So stop ignoring, stop putting it off, stop doubting. Allah is speaking to you through this trial. He's telling you clearly, don't close the door yet. And you must decide what to do with this key He has just placed in your hands. You ask yourself, but why me? Why always me? Why do I have to carry this burden? Why am I the one who has to wait, who has to endure, who has to keep going when I have no more strength? And you know what? It's a real question. A question that many don't even dare to ask, but that your heart has been crying out for a long time. So let's ask it together. Let's ask it frankly. Why you? Is it because Allah wants to crush you? Number. Is it because Allah enjoys seeing you suffer? Number. So why? What if the real question isn't why me, but why not me? What if Allah chose you because He sees in you a strength that you yourself refuse to see? Because He knows you are capable of carrying this role that others would have abandoned long ago. Do you think you're sacrificing yourself? Do you think you're wasting time? Do you think you're giving without receiving anything? But if only you could see what you're gaining in the invisible. If only you could contemplate what each minute of patience builds in your soul. You would understand that nothing is lost. Repeat this question in your head. Why me? And listen carefully to the inner answer. Because you were chosen. You think you were punished. But if you had been punished, you would have been left alone, carefree, oblivious, and easy. Number. You were chosen to carry something beyond your logic. And look carefully. Are you really alone? You say, I can't take it anymore. I have no one to understand me. But Allah sees you. Every sigh, every tear, every time you swallow your anger and your desire to give up. None of it escapes the one who gave you this role. Now let's be even more honest. You've thought about giving up. How many times have you said to yourself, it's over. This time I'll cut it out. This time I'll leave. This time I'll give nothing more. But what held you back? Why didn't you cross that line? Is it fear? Is it weakness? Number. It's because your heart knows. Your heart knows it's not the right time. Your heart knows that Allah has placed you here again, despite everything. So ask yourself the question differently. What if I were the sign that Allah sends into this person's life? What if I were the hand He extends through my attitude, my prayers, my presence? What if I were the breath He uses to prevent this soul from completely sinking? You think you're carrying a burden. But what if you were a protection? You think you're losing. But what if you're sowing seeds that you don't yet see growing? You think you're forgotten. But what if, on the contrary, you were so important in Allah's eyes that He entrusted you with this mission? Repeat again, why me? And let the answer wash over you. Because I chose you. The very idea should move you. To be chosen. To be singled out. Being entrusted with a role that others could never have borne. It's heavy, yes, but it's no accident. And perhaps you see a person who doesn't change, a person who repeats the same mistakes, a person who exhausts your patience. But Allah sees what you don't. He sees the root of this heart. He sees the invisible battle that is being played out. And He has placed you on the front lines, not to destroy you, but so that you may witness a miracle to come. So I ask you again, are you wasting your time? Or are you unknowingly writing one of the most precious pages of your spiritual history? And you hesitate. You are torn. Your heart wavers. But look carefully. If Allah chose you for this role, it's not to leave you alone. Every breath of mercy you offer, every second of patience you experience, every time you hold back your words so as not to hurt, all of this is you being formed. Because the truth is, this person isn't just your test. They are your mirror. Through them, Allah is showing you your own heart. Through them, He reveals your level of compassion, your capacity for endurance, your ability to love for Him and not for your ego. So ask yourself again, why me? And this time, don't look for a rational answer. Simply listen to the silence after the question, because in that silence, there is already an answer waiting for you. Look at a tree in winter. Its branches are dry. Its trunk is rigid, almost cracked. At first glance, it seems dead. Without leaves, without flowers, without fruit, the hurried passerby doesn't even stop. He looks away. He judges. There is nothing more to expect from this tree. But you, stop for a moment. Come closer. Place your hand on its cold bark. Listen. Feel. Beneath this appearance of death, there is still life. Invisible. Hidden. Preserved. For beneath the earth, the roots still drink. They cling. They nourish themselves in secret. They wait. They await the spring that Allah has promised. And when the season returns, when the light changes, when the rain falls, everything is reversed again. This tree bursts with greenery as if it had never known drought. Flowers appear, fruit grows, birds come to shelter there, and those who had looked away are left speechless. We thought he was dead, but look at him today. Oh, now understand this. This person in your life, they may be like this tree. You only see the drought. You only see the falls, the fatigue, the repeated mistakes. You say to yourself, it's over, or nothing will change, and nothing will grow here again. But you look at the surface, while Allah, He looks at the roots. He knows what is happening beneath the earth, in the depths of this soul. He sees what you don't see, the invisible efforts, the silent prayers, the regrets that don't come out of the mouth, but burn in the heart. And perhaps that's why He put you here, near this tree, even in winter, so that you may witness one day it's spring, you know. Winter is not a death. It's a preparation. The seed must disappear underground before it can sprout. The bud must close in the cold before opening under the sun. And the soul also has its seasons. It falls. It withers. It withdraws. But it's not the end. It's a cycle. A stage. A secret that Allah is shaping. So imagine, what if this person you want to abandon isn't dying spiritually, but being prepared for rebirth? What if what you see as failures are actually just winters? What if Allah had placed you at their side to wait with them, like the earth around the tree, waiting for the flowers to return? Look at the sky. Even the moon disappears sometimes. We no longer see it. It is hidden. But just because it has disappeared doesn't mean it no longer exists. It always returns. It regains its light. Always. It is its nature. It is its law. Why do you think it would be any different for a heart? Perhaps you were too quick to judge. Perhaps you confused a season of drought with a definitive death. But Allah, He, is not mistaken. He already knows the blossoming that you cannot yet imagine. And you, what are you doing? Are you that hurried passerby who looks away, who says, "It's over, this tree is lost"? Or are you the one who waits, the one who believes, the one who protects this tree in winter because he has faith in spring? Remember, winter is long, but it is never eternal. The cold bites, but it always ends up giving way to the warmth. And if Allah placed you here, in this moment of drought, it's perhaps because He wants you to be there when the flowers appear. So imagine again, you thought all was lost. You thought nothing could change. And suddenly, you see the first leaf. Tiny, fragile, but alive. And you understand, all this time, there was life. All this time, Allah was working in the invisible. What if this was what you were destined to see one day? What if this patience you are experiencing today, this weight you are carrying, was not a loss, but a preparation for a miracle that only you will witness? So look at that tree again. See it as a sign, as a reminder, as a mirror of that person you thought you would abandon. And ask yourself, do you really want to leave before seeing their spring? You think it's a simple human connection, an ordinary encounter, just one story among many. But what if you're wrong? What if it wasn't a coincidence? What if it was a sacred test, disguised behind the appearances of your everyday life? Stop for a second. Think. How many times has Allah placed a trial in your path that you mistook for mere chance? And how many times, years later, have you realized it was a key, it was a door to something else? So think carefully. What if this person you want to abandon was just that? A key. Not an ordinary key. A key to your own heart. A key to measure how far you can go in compassion. How far you can remain loyal when everything pushes you to flee. How much hope you can have when everything around you screams that you're lost. Look carefully. The heaviest trials are never placed in your life to crush you, but to reveal what is buried within you. What if this relationship, this bond, this weight you carry were actually a mirror to your soul? You think it's just a story between two people, but no. It's a test between you and Allah. He's the one watching. He's the one testing. He's the one waiting to see. How far will you go? Will you give up as soon as things get difficult? Or will you understand that true loyalty is measured in moments when everything collapses? Because the truth is this: Allah never shows you a person by chance. Never. Every face you meet, every heart you connect with, every soul connected to yours, everything is written in stone. And if this weight has fallen upon you, it's not a mistake. It's a mission. But you struggle. You struggle. You ask, why me? Why me again? What if this why is actually proof that you are at the center of an immense test, an invisible test, one that many fail because they don't even recognize it? You look at this person and you see faults. Allah, for His part, looks at your heart and He sees your choice. Do you continue or do you give up? Do you carry the key or do you throw it in the sand? You believe this connection is a burden. But what if it's actually an opportunity? An opportunity to write a page in your spiritual history that no one else can write for you. An opportunity to be the one who stays when everyone else leaves. An opportunity to embody mercy when it is scarcest. You think it's a waste of time. But what if it were a door to your elevation? What if it were your secret test? What if Allah were looking not at the other person, but at you? And then, everything becomes heavier, more serious. Because you realize that what you're experiencing isn't a detail. It's a scene written for you. A scene your soul must go through, and whose outcome will decide part of your destiny. So Imagine letting go now. What would happen? Perhaps you think you would be freed. But in truth, wouldn't you lose the key Allah had entrusted to you? Wouldn't you close a door He wanted you to open? And what if instead you decided to hold on just a little longer despite everything? Do you know what might open? Do you know what light could shine forth at the exact moment when you thought all was lost? That's the dramatic tension of your ordeal. It's not just in the relationship, it's in your soul. It's in this invisible battle that plays out within you every moment. Because Allah has presented you with a choice. And this choice is a heavy one. You think it's a useless burden, but it's a key. A key you carry but haven't used yet. So tell me, what are you going to do with this key? If this message has touched your heart, don't let it fade away like a passing thought. Ask yourself, what if Allah had truly chosen me not to abandon this person? Reflect, pray, keep your heart open, and share this video with someone who might need to hear the exact same thing. Because deep down, maybe Allah is using you to not abandon someone right here, right now.